Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a very key live stream here tonight. You know, we've got something happening on Wednesday that I'm very excited about. We've got a Kamala Harris town hall that's happening at 9 o'clock that I will be reacting to, just like I reacted to her Fox News interview. But yeah, guys, Kamala Harris, people have been telling me in this chat, they're saying, look at Polymarket. Look, take a little look-see at this. What do we have here? We've got another update on Polymarket. Ouch! Oh, yeah. We're about 65-35 now on Polymarket. And it really makes sense. It really does based off of the recent polls, but I mean, it really is hilarious. 65-35. Just like I predicted a few months ago, it'd be 65-35. And it'll probably stabilize around 65-35 going into election night. I think Biden was 65-35 or around there. I know you see the update. The update just go the update just comes in. She's gonna suck at the town hall. Even well, it's a CNN town hall. They're gonna have to really, really try and make her look good. They're gonna have to bring. Where's the October surprise? You know, if there was ever a time to try and plant something against Trump or do something, they got to do it real soon. They're going to have to do it real soon. Tim Pool is retiring. Is that real? I saw someone say something about Tim Pool, and then they just said that, so that's why I'm wondering. Now, we're not going to be dealing with 3 a.m. votes, I don't think, man. I think it'll be much better. Good evening from San Diego, man. You got nice weather in San Diego. But yeah, I'm just gonna be reacting to a bunch of stuff that I found. I decided to, it'd be better to format a live stream properly and kind of just scroll up. It'll be like a scroll up of 30 or 40 tweets that I found today. Most of these I didn't react to in my videos, but this is just gonna format it better. I did just look at the Polymarket odds, brother. You missed me by 1 second. I looked at them. You're telling me to look at them. Does Nebraska have a chance of going independent in the Senate race? Well, that's the rumor. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think it's going to happen. But, I mean, this early voting is pretty amazing. Now, I will caution people with the early voting. Again, we're taking a look at a snapshot of a single day. So we have to understand that tomorrow, Palm Beach might only be +4 Republican. So it's a day, but these numbers are crazy. Informally liberal areas. It's very, very impressive. You've got Trump with some cats here. This is nice. This is nice. After what happened in Springfield, it's great to see. A lot of people think he can flip Minnesota and Virginia. Well, those are definitely the next states. I would still say Virginia over Minnesota. I mean, it's weird because Minnesota, the polls are closer than Virginia, but Virginia, it feels like there's more momentum in the state, like Republican Party momentum. I mean, if Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, has a +16 approval rating in the state, it's obvious that they could vote for a Republican. Stopped watching Timcast, kind of annoying. Yeah, I never watched Timcast personally. I mean, there's been a lot of people, they say I need to go on Timcast, but I don't know if is he retiring? Do you think Ohio could go Trump +10? Yeah, I think like 9.5 to 10. I would say it wouldn't surprise me because it's a much better environment now than it was in 2020 or 2016, and Trump won Ohio by the exact same amount actually in 2020 and 2016. It was 8.1. New Mexico is also a sneaky possibility. New Mexico in the margin of error. Yeah, I don't know about that poll. That might be an internal poll that they got. I'd like to see some more polling, like the Albuquerque Journal poll. Maybe they'll do another one of those. There's Trump signs everywhere in Northern Virginia. Yeah, the signs are good, but they don't really mean a lot. As soon as you stream, Poly changes odds. Gonna let me know. Really? They must be ready for my stream or something. I don't know. They just changed and I went to it and I did a little update and it's Trump +2. Trump with 2 more points. You ate McDonald's today in honor of Trump. It'd be interesting to see the sales of McDonald's today compared to a normal Monday. I'm guessing they were significantly up from what I saw. A lot of people were eating McDonald's. I mean, that's what Americans do. They eat McDonald's, but do you think issue 1 will pass or fail? Did you see Vivek did a nice article on that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any polling on issue 1, but obviously if they're guilt tripping people and saying, well, we hate gerrymandering, right? So vote yes to get rid of gerrymandering. So it's hard to win something like that if you're the conservatives, but the entire dynamic of it is liberals clearly don't have control of the Ohio. Ohio was a swing state. It was a Rust Belt state. It was just like Pennsylvania, but now it's firmly a Republican state. And so they're like, well, now everything needs to be independent because they know Republicans are going to have the advantage in terms of when they draw the lines. And they're pissy about it. And so now they wouldn't be doing this if the Democratic Party was winning the state of Ohio consistently, but now they're doing it. But it's a gerrymandering issue, and they're going to guilt trip people and say, oh, we all hate gerrymandering, so you have to vote this. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. If you look at Ramaswamy's article. Any positive signs for Dems going on? I'm trying to think of some polls recent. I mean, there was a pollster that did have pretty good Dem polls, but they're not a real reputable pollster, even though they did get put to the 538 average. But they had like Harris up by 8 in Michigan. The early voting seems to be. I mean, guys, the thing with the early voting is we knew Republicans were going to do better in early voting. We knew it when you compare it to 2020, even 2022, because 2022, when you talk about the midterms, it's who votes in the midterms versus the general. It's more educated people. It's a smaller voter block, so it's hard to compare midterms to. And even then, in 2022, people were still scared to vote. So you're talking about warped early voting data. So we knew the early voting data was going to be better for conservatives in 2024. It just depends how much it was going to be by. Pennsylvania, Trump 60-40. Well, that's substantial. 60-40. It was 50 because I think it was 58. So now it's 60. Texas and Florida are not in play. Well, Florida looks like around a 10-point victory for Trump right now, like 9 to 10 points, I would say. I mean, if you want to go on the absolute low end, I would say like 7. Texas, I'm still thinking it's probably 6.5 to 8, but other people will say it's more. If you look at the active vote recent poll, that's got Trump up by 12 in Texas, but I think it's going to be less than that. It's just hard with Texas and the migration. I mean, look at what happened to Colorado and how far it swung left because of the migration. What do you think happens to Elon if Trump loses? Well, he's going to face a lot of legal shit. That's about all I can say. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I've speculated that they're going to try and something's going to happen. There's going to be an event, and then they're going to say X caused this with misinformation and violence, and that's why we need to censor X and control it and force Elon Musk to sell or sue him or something. There's going to be a huge lawsuit. They're going to force all the advertisers to not advertise on X. Elon's not going to be able to make any money off of it. It'll be something like that, I would imagine. But a lot of it is there's something, that happens to public safety, and then they're able to take the rights away. Predicted is going full-blown Trump. That's surprising to me because Predicted was very left for a while there with Harris. But even Predicted now is... Hassan says Trump will win all swing states, but she can flip Texas. That's got to be a troll. Seen on Fox where Trump is looking good in Minnesota. A Fox poll out of Minnesota. More strong early voting numbers. Yeah, these are good numbers. Let's see what this is.
People keep trying to buy the election.
Yeah. People keep trying to buy the election.
Billionaire Elon.
You don't say, wait, was Alex Soros just taking a photo with Kamala Harris or something? I mean...
Musk has gone all in for you-know-who, and now he's giving out...
Look at Walls.
$1 million a day to people who sign his super PAC's petition.
What? This is way more transparent than what Soros does by buying all the networks and stuff behind the scenes. At least he's giving money to the American people.
Now, I thought that was against the law, but apparently
So if Musk does $1 million in ads, it's better.
Found some new stuff that allowed this to go. I thought you couldn't do this. What's happening?
Well, I think that's what you do when you have no plan for the public, when you have no economic plan that's going to benefit the middle class, when you have no plan to protect reproductive rights, when you have no plan to address climate change and produce American energy, you go to these type of...
Well, their plan for climate change was to stop drilling, and it caused 20% inflation. It helped cause it because...
Tactics. It's all about...
But aren't they...
There's a concept
outsource for energy.
Aren't these tactics against the law, though? Aren't you?
Well,
because...
I'll let the lawyers decide, but it sure... Look, I think...
Giving water away to voters and land is against the law.
Isn't this the same
No,
thing?
because they're signing a petition, so you're technically not buying the vote. Frankly, there's nothing that can stop people from signing the petition.
But it's just like it's so crap. I mean, liberals they with the billionaires, they constantly manipulate the elections. They outspend more every single cycle. But Republicans can't do it. Maybe Musk should just buy a bunch of ads and that'll be better. It probably would have, well, I don't know if it would have more of an impact. I think Elon knows what he's doing. Trump was in North Carolina 3 o'clock this afternoon, kind of a mid-afternoon rally. Nice crowd there. North Carolina visiting the flooded areas, looks like.
Special hello to Greenville right now, Greenville. And hello to North Carolina.
So Trump visiting there. Oh my God.
All the guys in the room already. I can tell that she's going to be a powerhouse. She is already at 2.5.
My daughter's 22 and a half, is a feminist, incredibly strong, and has really just inspired me in so many ways. I love her.
I'm the proud dad of Ella over here.
My vote for Kamala is an investment in my daughter's
These people need men. And this is the shit they're still doing.
Future.
I agree. I'm right there with you.
When the Dobbs decision came out 2+ years ago, I heard from Kamala right away, and then the next person was Ella. She texted me right away, essentially saying...
Your thoughts on Cenk and his comment about Trump's McDonald's? Well, Cenk is understanding that Harris's campaign is a total shit show and she's going to lose. And so he's getting ahead of it so he can do his brag on election night when she loses, and he can try and form some type of movement against establishment Dems, because that's really what Cenk wants to do. Remember when Cenk tried running? Cenk actually, he wants power. He wants to have some type of control. So he already doesn't like the establishment Dems because they just bully him and they just keep him out. And so he sees this as an opportunity where he knows is a total shit show for Democrats. And he's like, look, let me get out in front of this. Trump's going to win. I can say it. And then when Trump wins, I can be like, I'm right. The establishment Dems suck, and we need a new way with more liberal people. They want to take the party even further left. So that's what I think about that.
We need to fight. This is not just an issue for women. This is an issue for men and families. And this is one of the many, many reasons.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here it is. Here it is. They don't buy elections. Man, that is an evil looking dude. Oh, and if you're the Harris campaign, wouldn't you tell them to maybe not post this? I mean, nobody, like Soros is just, this is his son. It's the new, just such an evil specimen. Oh, but no, they don't buy elections. I mean, what is this? This is like the trophy photos where he goes around taking pictures of the politicians that he bought. That's what this is. This is the trophy. It's like he has all these trophies and then he frames it, and he did it with Walls, where Walls was like a puppy dog, and he had Walls like this, and Walls is like a chipmunk, just like, and Soros is there posing with a photo, and Walls is like covering his balls up, like his balls are all shriveled. He's like covering like this. And he's like leaning over, and Soros takes a picture with him, and it's just like the trophy cases. This is the trophy cases for Alex Soros. He goes around and he frames all of these photos, all the Democrats that he's bought, and now they're buying all the radio networks too. George is buying all of them. We've got this. 75% of all the vote totals will be reported no later than 8 o'clock on election night. 75%? I mean, what is this?
Percent will be. And it's actually security paper with the state seal on it.
Okay, important point to establish, because yesterday President Trump said something that implies that because it can take time to tabulate votes, there might be something nefarious here. Take a listen.
They spend all this money in machines, and then they announce, we expect to have the results like 7 days after the election. If you had paper ballots, you get them at 10 o'clock. France went to paper because what we did didn't work.
He's absolutely right. Europe said they all go to paper now. They don't do any type of mail-in because there's a lot of fraud involved in mail-in. According to European countries, they admit it.
He's pointing to a lack of paper ballots as a problem here. Is he?
Kamala Harris said we need paper ballots in 2019. She said, I mean, it was because Russia that they were saying Russia stole the election. We need paper ballots, but now it's the opposite.
Accurately describing what's happening, and how long will it take to tabulate votes?
In Georgia, 100% of all the votes cast will be on a paper ballot. But actually nationwide, it's going to be over 96 to 97% of all voting in America will be on paper ballots. But we also just put into law this year with SB
Who knows if that's true? Who knows if that's true?
189 that all early votes and all early accepted ballots, they all will have to have their results reported by 8 p.m. That's 70, maybe even 75% of all the vote totals will be reported no later than 8 p.m. on election night.
Won't take 7 days to tabulate votes, as he said?
Absolutely not. What we will be waiting for is the overseas ballots that come in no later than Friday.
Right, but you see how this doesn't add up. There's no way 25% of the country is overseas voting. Dude, this is just weird. Dude, what is this? There's a nice little AI montage. Love your clips. Always try to catch up with you. Edward, I appreciate that, man. Voted early in California. DJT up bigly on on Predicted. That's what I've been hearing. Predict It now. Trump's apparently up by a lot. Yeah, the AI stuff is pretty funny, but that AI, it's like they're close, but they're not there yet. And I feel like perfecting it and trying to make something like that perfect is extremely challenging. Like you can get it 75, but getting it 100 to make it actually look realistic, it's I think it's probably almost impossible right now. Ryan, what's up, man? Tim Walz, if he worked at McDonald's. Thoughts on California not needing voter ID? Well, does it surprise you if it's a very liberal state and they can... Doesn't surprise me if liberal states are a lot more lenient with that type of stuff. How is Roe v. Wade overturned? Well, Roe v. Wade is a problem for Republicans. Liberals had the outrage, but they got all the benefit from it in terms of the election. They're running on Roe. I mean, that's their number one issue. Like, legitimately, abortion is their number one issue. If you look at all the top issues, and then you just look at Trump versus Harris, who wins the issue? Who do you trust more on immigration? Who do you trust more with the economy, inflation, crime, and then reproductive rights? It's Harris. That's the only one where Harris leads, and Trump leads all the others by a lot. Crime, it's only about 6 or 7 points, but you know, immigration, it's like 15, 20 points. Border states, it's even more. Border states, Trump leads immigration by like 30, 40 points because they've seen and just how bad it is. Look at this nice painting. Someone should buy this. This is nice. That's an AI doing that. Come on. Look at that. That's just a lonely minimum wage worker. Imagine if Trump flips New Mexico. Yeah, if Trump flips New Mexico, that's like a random flip that we don't see anymore. We normally don't see flips like that anymore. It's the elections have gotten more boring. That would signal a landslide if that happened because nobody would expect that. I think New Mexico is going to be closer than expected. Jacob, what's up, man? No problem, man. No problem. hoping Kemp have you seen Kemp's approval rating, bro? It is crazy. Like, I just can't see how a Republican would lose when Kemp's approval rating is legit like plus 25 in the state. Like, Kemp is loved in Georgia. It's crazy. And now Kemp endorsed Trump and they squashed their beef. So, I mean, you would think. Trump is hard to pull. Well, certainly he's been hard to pull the last 2 cycles. They're hoping for an overcorrection. I don't think it's going to happen. Michigan 2016. Yeah, but Michigan is part of the Rust Belt, I think. And to me, New Mexico's like a different beast in terms of geography and everything. Michigan, there's always a chance. It's always thought of as a swing state, even if the polls are ridiculous like they were in 2016. But I don't think the final polls, on average, there's no way the final polls were plus 13. I mean, maybe there was a singular poll that had Hillary up by 13. You buying any of the recent DMAGA dips? No, man, I'm already in. DMAGA's got to start doing something, man. This is. I'll give you my strategy on DMAGA. Me and Benny Johnson, Benny Boy. Dude, I remember Benny Boy. We're your favorite election YouTubers, me and Benny Johnson. Well, that's great. Yeah, I've seen. I mean, Benny. He's got some crazy thumbnails. I'll say that. He's got some interesting editors with the tears and stuff, and there's some nice thumbnails. I'm not gonna lie. Benny Johnson can be cringe. I mean, I think we're all cringe because it's YouTube, you know. Up 64%, I know. I started the live stream and people are like, he's up again. He's up to 64. I'm not gonna have a MAGA hat in my merch. Listen, if you want to buy a MAGA hat, you can just buy one, but I'm not gonna have it in my merch. Is the hurricane hurting Trump in North Carolina? Harris is doing better. Maybe North Carolina is the one state where Harris is doing a little bit better in the polls. You might actually be right on that. To be fair, you might be right, but I don't think the hurricane is hurting Trump from everything. I mean, it's just been like if the hurricane happened a week before the election, it'd be a big problem. I agree, but it was like a month and a half, I think, or almost like around a month. Tampa Bay Rays are moving to North Carolina. No, that's not happening, man. Rogan when? I know, dude. I'm waiting for Rogan. I don't know, man. I'm hoping it's this week. Dems won't certify results if Trump wins. That's very, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. Benny, clickbait champion. He's annoying too. I mean, I don't have anything against Benny. I don't have anything against Republican YouTubers, man. But I understand, you know, everyone's got different tastes. I don't watch a ton of like political you know, I used to watch Breaking Points, but they've been terrible recently. They've gone left with their pollster. It's sad, so I don't really watch them either. JRE, yeah, dude, we get Trump wearing a dark MAGA hat on JRE. That would be crazy, man. How nervous am I for the election? Well, dude, it's weird because I'm gonna be streaming it, so it's like it's gonna be a bit different. That's for sure. When you stream something, it's like, especially when you stream an event. Like now, I'm streaming. There's really nothing going on that's crazy. But like when I streamed the Ohio State Georgia game, it was totally different than me just watching it without stream. Like there's just when you stream something, it's like it's such a small bubble. Like you can't really expand your thoughts. Like if I was just reacting to the election normal, it would be a completely different experience because it would be. I mean, I'm fine with streaming the election. You know, it's going to be good for my channel and everything. But I'm just saying, it's just a different animal than just you just have there's just a lot more awareness I feel like you have when you don't stream. When I'm streaming, I'm just worried about like dumb stuff, as opposed to if I were just reacting to it, I would just be more zoned in, you know? Opinion on Burrow? I think Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. When is the Rogan podcast? I think it's got to be this week. It's got to be this week or next week. Do I listen to InfoWars? I don't really. I mean, I see mainly I see some Alex clips on X mainly. It's good that he got back on X. Trump on Rogan is inevitable. It's going to happen. Wisconsin early voting is tomorrow, really? If the election takes 3 days, oh my god, dude. Don't even say that. The election, I don't think there's any way the election takes 3 days. Well, if the election takes 3 days, you know, I'll stream all the days, but I'm going to obviously miss stuff because there's going to be like, no one knows when the updates come in, you know? So it's like, we just have to wait for I mean, that's always miserable, man. Like in 2020, waiting for the updates was so miserable. Number one, because every update was negative against Trump because it was all early voting infested with liberal ballots. And number two, because it's like, you really don't know. It's just this constant annoying thing that takes so long. Look at this dance. Oh my god. She's waddling like a freaking penguin. Oh, man. This was funny.
So the economy remains a top issue to voters, but our own ABC poll finds that 59% of Americans feel like the economy is not getting better despite inflation going down and a number of good macroeconomic trends. The same poll finds that voters trust Donald Trump to handle the economy more. What do you say about the perception the economy is doing poorly?
It's like Whoopi can't believe that. That is every single poll. When they poll who do you trust more, Trump or Kamala on the economy, pretty much every poll says Trump by like 7 to 10 points, maybe even more. And here's Whoopi saying it's not real.
And what?
Yeah.
And what do you say to these Americans who feel like they're struggling?
Yeah, well, if they're saying they are, they are. And I think for all of us of prices being out there, I think that's why Vice President Harris has made it very clear that that is a top priority.
So the economy.
The top priority. Yeah, I agree with this. You know, one of the things I've seen with these pollsters, they're like, this is our final poll. How is it your final poll? It's like 2 weeks before the election. It's your final poll. Actually, tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks before the election. But there's so many pollsters now. They're like, this is our final poll. It's very strange. Why is this your final poll? I mean, you would think there would be some type of correction, but I don't know. They had 1,400 days to fix. Yeah, they've had listen, Democrats have been in control 12 of the last 16 years, I think is what it is. I remember someone saying that and I was like, oh yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of it that way, but 12 out of the last 16 years, don't you think it's long enough at this point? I mean, my God. How did it change already? Because it ebbs and flows. I mean, people are betting on Trump, they're betting against Trump. What happened to Tim Pool? Did he retire or what happened? Are people trolling me? I don't know. People keep saying stuff. So many people in Brazil praying for Trump to win the election. He's an international star. He is also MAGA. There was a lady at the drive-thru that was from Brazil and loved Trump at the McDonald's drive-thru when Trump was working there. Mando, what's up, man? He's probably going to stop Timcast. Well, I mean, he's got to at least finish the election cycle, you would think. Do I have any Lego City sets? When I was a young kid, I liked Lego City. Not anymore. When I was, like when I was 11 or 12, I don't. I mean, Lego City, they're for like younger kids, Tim Pool saying he may need to shut it down because of oversight issues. Personally, I think just being stressed out. He don't think he wants to shut it down for good. Well, he should go through the election and then take a break. I mean, obviously everyone is ramped up with content now through the election. Everyone's just ramped up, and then that's what I would do. You have Trump at a 95% chance to win a few months ago. How has it changed from 95? Yeah, I bumped it up to 97. Yeah, I've been looking at those McDonald's videos. They're very nice. That's such a good thing that Trump did. Makes him relatable. What state that's not a swing state has the best chance of flipping to Trump? You'd say Virginia. Yeah, I mean, it'd be Virginia probably, or New Mexico maybe. It'd be Virginia, New Mexico, Maine at large, or Minnesota. Is the popular... I'm guessing the popular vote probably moved a little bit if that's actually like that. Has it serious? Well, that's because this is freaking... Yeah, I mean, I guess it's moved a little. It's moved a little bit. Maybe really hasn't done anything though. Sports books approaching. Yeah, I think most of the sports books are around 60-40 right now. You could say like 57-43, 59-41, something like that. Remember when I had 130K subs? Yeah, when I had 130K subs, that was probably like, I want to say the summer, like maybe June or July, I don't know. Maybe August, I don't remember. What's the worst case scenario for Trump? Well, I think the obvious standard worst case scenario is just losing all the swing states. The thing is, with the worst case scenario for Trump, I just don't see any way he loses a Texas or a Florida. And if you're a liberal, you would say, well, Trump, his worst case scenario is losing Texas and Florida. I mean, I just can't see him losing those states based off of polling. There's just way too many polls out of those states that have Trump up very comfortably right now. This is Decision Desk. Following this thing is very annoying. Like, maybe it's in forecasting, but I don't know. I have a really annoying time trying to follow this. Well, you can take a look at. I mean, this Decision Desk has been far more. This has been a liberal. It's been very, but even this has Trump at a 63% chance in Georgia. I think Arizona's a lot higher than that. This thing's had Harris, and it just finally changed. You can see changed to Trump. Tim Pool has a poll about if he should retire and shut down, and 53% voted yes. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of haters in general on the internet. But I mean, what did he have that on his X account? You were watching my content when I only had 20K. That was a while ago, man. That was like two years ago. Have you heard that black turnout is down in Georgia and North Carolina? Well, I think a lot of the minority turnout's going to be down compared to where it was in 2020. 2020, it skyrocketed, man. So it wouldn't surprise me. Why do you think every lib on Twitter is overhyping the Pennsylvania early vote data? Oh, the firewall. Dude, I saw something on the firewall yesterday and I talked about it, and I think the firewall is just a bunch. I think the firewall got hacked. The firewall. Down goes the firewall. The firewall. Oh, they've got the firewall, guys. I don't know, man. I saw some of their tweets. It seemed like it was just from some dude that had like 30K followers made up this firewall, which was totally different and just arbitrary from the one in 2020. And it's like way less votes. It just makes no sense. I mean, from what I see, Republicans have cut into the firewall significantly, but hey, I mean, it's the firewall, man. Don't they? They're talking about like a firewall in Arizona now as well. I mean, the firewall, it's basically them trying to have a massive early vote advantage over Republicans, is from what I know. Like 75-25 or something. Do you think Trump wins in 2020 if COVID never happened? Of course. I mean, my goodness. He lost by 40K votes. I mean, listen, no one knows what ends up happening, but I mean, you lose by 40K votes as an incumbent with a pandemic that shuts your economy down 8 months before the election. I mean, it's ridiculous. Trump can lose Pennsylvania and be fine. Well, if we wargamed it out, yeah, but the problem with Pennsylvania is if he loses Pennsylvania, people think he'll probably also lose these states. That's the problem. And see, that's where Nebraska's 2nd district comes into play. If you lose these 3, it becomes an issue because you narrowly lose if you lose the Rust Belt. But most people think Pennsylvania. I mean, you could get a scenario because all these states are very close. You could get a scenario where it's like that. But I think with the amount of effort they've put in Pennsylvania, it would be surprising. It would be much more likely that it would be something like that. With Trump taking Pennsylvania, Wisconsin losing Michigan, but then still taking Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, and getting like 297. But I mean, Michigan, the polls have looked good in Michigan as well. So who knows? I mean, how close are we to World War III, in my opinion? Well, it's impossible for me to say because I have nothing to scale it against. Like, oh, you know, it's like there's no other. I mean, obviously when Russia invaded Ukraine, that was a step up from what we were used to in terms of modern 21st century. Like I never thought an invasion like that would happen in the 21st century with nukes and everything like that. So it's definitely, I mean, I can't say, oh, we're 90% of the way there. Well, 90% against what? You know, what am I comparing it to? You can't, it's hard to say, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but listen, with what's going on in the Middle East, I think the Middle East is going to be the death of everyone. I mean, it's such a mess. I mean, there's always, I think it's inevitable with the Middle East causing a global hopefully not, but maybe it will be Russia, Ukraine. I don't know what the end game is for Putin. That's what I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Trump does, especially when he's president-elect, what kind of negotiations will be taking place, because I'm sure there'll be negotiations taking place. If Trump wins and he's president-elect, when Biden is a lame duck, there'll be a lot of things going on with Trump and Zelensky and Putin. What do you think of that? I don't know who you're talking about. People telling, well, I'm sure liberals are saying the polls are wrong right now. Of course, they're going to say that. They're losing. I mean, the polls might be wrong. But they might be underestimating Trump again like they did in 2020 and 2016. Vivek for Ohio governor. Yeah, it seems like that's the next step up in his political career now that he's got a name for himself. Something like that. You don't like sand? It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. You know what else is coarse and rough and irritating, Harris? Well, We won't have. Listen, I think Kamala's political career is done after this. I think there's going to be so many Democrats that turn on her. Finally watched Romulus. Yeah, come on, man. Romulus was not as good as Romulus was way worse than Alien Covenant, though. With Michael Fassbender, come on. People are saying Romulus is better than Alien Covenant, even though people don't like Alien Covenant, Prometheus. Those are good movies. Prometheus is a great movie. Is Joe Rogan having Trump on? Joe Rogan is not having Trump on tonight. Come on. If that was happening, that would be crazy. If they did a night stream. They do a surprise late night stream. Trump was in North Carolina, so I don't think he's going to be in Texas tonight, man. Kamala will join The View. Yeah, Prometheus was an amazing movie. People were hyping up Romulus, yeah, because they just, it was one of those movies that originally wasn't even supposed to be in theaters, and I mean, I guess it overperformed that because people thought it was going to be bad, and then it was decent, and it was like a classic alien movie. What's the poly market? Yeah, I think the No Girl is going to have to make a return. You know, they got a meme coin about her. It's just titled, No. I just saw that. It's got like 1.2 million market cap. I voted for Biden, but just voted for Trump. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of cases like that. There's a lot of cases like that. World War III odds, USA minus 175. Well, yeah, they're probably, I mean, people say there's never going to be a winner, and technically it's everyone loses in that, but there will be eventually. I mean, there's probably going to be a winner. But people are, but now what's going to happen is World War III is going to be like World War I, where everyone gets timid with nukes and they don't want to use them, and it's mainly a ground war, and it's a lot of drones. And then World War IV is going to be nuclear bombs. The girl you were dating wanted Biden to win. Needless to say, it didn't last long. Those have got to be tough relationships, man. They just got to be hard. It's just like you fit in square peg into a round hole. I understand, you know, opposites attract and everything like that, but especially if they're somewhat politically motivated, like they like politics and everything like that, and you're against each other, it's hard for a relationship to last. I mean, like that. What will Lickman's coat be? Well, he's gonna have to stop with his stuff. I mean, because he's totally ruined his own model. Cyber warfare. Yeah, they're gonna take down the power grids and stuff. What do they got those bags now you can buy on Amazon to protect your phone from EMPs? Is it true U.S. citizens can't vote on Polymarket? Mark Cuban, yeah, and Bill Maher were saying it's foreign interference. Well, there's a few things you have to understand about that. They didn't give you the full picture. Let me give you the full picture. Number one, a lot of people are doing it through VPNs. They are doing it. Number two, it's not just Polymarket. It is all of the betting sites saying that. And actually, I don't think I have the frickin'... I don't have it right now, but it's all of the betting markets. It's not just Polymarket. All of the betting markets basically have the same odds. Some of the betting markets have Trump as a bigger favorite than Polymarket. The reason everyone talks about Polymarket is because it has the best format where you can kind of see the lines and everything, and Polymarket has spent money on advertising, so people are getting paid to talk about it. And so That's why that's why Polymarket, people talk about Polymarket, because look at it. It has, you can track it easier. But all of the betting is the same. The American sportsbooks have Trump at around a 6%. They say that, and then they hope you don't know the full story and you're ignorant to what's actually going on, but it's everything. All of the betting agrees that Trump has about a 60% chance. What they do is they don't tell you the full picture. And then, it's like, oh my God, it's all foreign money from Russia that's betting on Trump. I mean, what sense does that even make? I mean, wouldn't it be bad then? I mean, how is that a good strategy? If you're Trump, to where you manipulate the betting, but it doesn't help you in the polls. It just makes people overconfident. That wouldn't even be a strategy. Trump rally in Albuquerque, that would be pretty sweet, but I don't know, man. I don't know if he'll do that. Maybe one night he should do that. Just a weeknight. Imagine he does like an Albuquerque rally on a Tuesday night, and then he wins the state. Will Trump really get 312 electoral votes or less than that? Well, I mean, it depends how many. If he wins every swing state, he'll get 312 for sure, and that's not flipping any crazy lib states, that we don't think are going to go, like Minnesota or Virginia. But I think it'll be around 312. You could say 312, 306. A lot of people were arguing maybe not Michigan, but the Michigan polls look better. So 312, 306 if you don't want to include Nevada. He won 306 in 2016 without Nevada. So if he takes Nevada, it's 312. Dems are obsessed with Russia. Well, they overplayed their hand. I mean, the Russia stuff is over. They're not. It's the boy who cried wolf with Russia. Why is he such a low number? This is the popular vote. This is the popular vote, not the... But I do agree, this is probably pretty low, but it does look like he's approaching 40% now in popular vote. Could I date a liberal? Maybe like I did a moderate, I guess. I mean, if they're like slightly left, but they don't care that much. I mean, if they're like just a solid liberal and they care about all the liberal issues, I think it'd be a clash. It's a lot of arguments. You want to at least have some similarities there. New Mexico and Nevada have nearly identical electorates almost in every way. I don't know about that being true. I mean, I think New Mexico's a little bit more liberal than Nevada. Nevada's always been purple. New Mexico seemingly has been a lot more blue. Yeah, the House is a pure toss-up right now. You're right. You can go through this and see the Senate. I'm annoyed they don't. Wow, Republicans went up another point in the Senate. 82.5. Yeah, I think this could probably be 90. It might be like 85-15 on election night, I'd say, going into election night. It's because of the Moreno. There's some positive polls for Moreno, and that's going to swing it more because obviously they're taking West Virginia, they're taking Montana, and you've got the Moreno polls in Ohio. Vance went on Theo Vaughn. Did that really? I thought it was Walls. You know what? I want to see Walls on Theo Vaughn. Bring Tim Walls on Theo Vaughn, and that would be the most awkward podcast. I'd watch that. That's something I'd watch. How can you check if a crypto app is legit or not? I mean, well, an app? I mean, most of the time, most of the people that are trying to manipulate or scam you are not going to be building an entire app. But I mean, go to the official website and see, I guess. But with apps, that's not where it's happening. But there's a lot of things they do now. Ryan J. Trump can win on election night without winning Pennsylvania right away. Or he could get so many votes in Pennsylvania that he wins Pennsylvania. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's possibly going to win Pennsylvania by around 3 points. And if that's the case, they're not going to call it. But it's going to be one of those things where everybody already knows that it's a win. So it's like, all right, we know he's going to win, just, you know, and maybe it takes him an extra day, but it's going to be such a big lead. But it's going to be hard to gauge because there's going to be more liberal day of voting and there's going to be more conservative early voting. So we're going to have to understand that when the votes come in. Do you think Republicans or Democrats will turn out more on November 5th? You think you're kind of worried that the Dems will show up in droves, silent majority, but for Harris? No, it'll be Republicans that turn out more on election night. I mean, Dems will win early voting again, but it's not going to be by the margin, and Republicans will turn out early. And I think a lot of the voters that they got in 2020, especially in the inner cities, it's not going to happen again. I mean, the Democrats, obviously, they spend a bunch of money. They're going to get voters. They're a huge party, but... And another thing is there's just going to be a lot of independent people that go for Trump, I feel, man. A lot. Especially in, Minnesota, Wisconsin. You're also getting the Minnesota factor with Jill Stein as well, which should help, hopefully. Whether it's even half a point, whether it's a point, it's going to help. I mean, because, not all those people that vote for Jill Stein would have voted for Kamala, but a small percentage would have. So you're also siphoning off more votes from Kamala through Jill Stein. You see the video of the predetermined town hall questions? Yeah, I did see that. I mean, it's a propaganda thing. I mean, this late in the ball game, there's no way their campaign's agreeing to that without trying to make it a propaganda positive, thing with Kamala where she interacts with voters. But I mean, it'll still be interesting to watch. I mean, they're going to have to ask her some type of question. You're not going to accomplish anything if you just do a bunch of softball questions to influence any independent people. You're going to have to actually answer some serious stuff or some decent stuff. So their campaign is probably going to have some okay questions. Otherwise, nothing's going to be accomplished through the town hall. Trump should annex Canada to get more electoral votes. Yeah, you're right, because Canada's conservative now, apparently. We'll have to see the upcoming election there. I don't know, someone told me the upcoming election's in 2025 in Canada. Dodgers or Yankees, that's going to be a great series, man. I mean, I just think the Dodgers are just way more complete than the Yankees, honestly. But I mean, both of those teams obviously they got a lot of star power. There's no doubt about it. When is the October surprise coming? I think we're all waiting for an October surprise. Who knows? They gotta do it something soon with how much Trump's up by, though. They gotta do something. Is the voting down in Western? No, I have not heard that it's down. No. At least I haven't heard that it's anything crazy. Yeah, Trudeau, it's time to go. Finally. I mean, after they froze the bank accounts, I mean, my God. Holy shit. You freeze the bank accounts of truckers? Come on, man. Why is Vermont so liberal? I heard of people talk about that. It's a very white state. Well, they just don't have a lot of the problems that many of these other states have, and so they're kind of detached, it feels like. That's how it was explained to me. And it's a lot of more highly educated, white, upper middle class, kind of a liberal bloc. Trump jail sentence. Wait, no, that got pushed back. That got pushed back after, because that was something that was supposed to be coming up, that potentially they're sentencing of him or something, and it got appealed or something back to after the election, like 20 days after, around Thanksgiving, it got appealed to. Mike Evans got injured. Unfortunate. Are you gonna sell merch? Possibly. Yeah. I gotta find a good store or something to be able to put it on and stuff, though. Vermont doesn't have 13% of the population. I know what you're talking about, Ryan. Will Amish people in Pennsylvania turn out more? Yeah, I mean, I think they are going to. The problem is there's not many of them that can actually vote, from what I heard. Maybe about 15K. I know the population of the Amish is around 80K, but I think only 15K are old enough to vote. What am I going to do after the I don't know, man. I mean, after the election, you know, with these political stuff, it just keeps going. But I don't know, man. I mean, I have to lighten up the political videos a bit and, you know, but obviously it's the election time, so you've got to grind them out. But I mean, normally I make a lot of videos every day anyways. If you haven't been following my channel for, you know, a lot of you guys probably just joined July, August, September. But I mean, I normally post, honestly, like 3 or 4 videos a day, like on a random Tuesday in February, I'll do that. But now, obviously, with my financial situation, it's going to be a little bit different, and there's going to be other stuff. Aliens is better than Alien, is better than Prometheus, is better than No, you're completely wrong. Prometheus is the best. Then Covenant. But Prometheus is the best. Come on. What is this spread for? This is for the Senate. Trump says went down by 0.2. Here comes the nervousness. Wow, Nevada's up to 57 now. Jesus. Nevada's the same as Wisconsin and Michigan. If Trump wins, will the election night meltdown be worse or less? It'll be way less, way less. Listen, you don't understand the upset that happened with Hillary and Trump. It's nowhere comparable to this. You have some liberals already saying that Kamala's going to lose and she's a bad candidate. I mean, obviously a lot of liberals are still doing the whole charade. She's going to win, whatever. But no, dude, the Hillary one, I mean, come on. The Hillary one was different. Trump went down. Yeah, there it is. And I understand you're being sarcastic, but dude, some people were going crazy when Trump was down by like 2. Trump went down 2 points. They were like, what in the fuck just happened? You have got to be kidding me. Prometheus is underrated. It's like a God movie. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. There's no doubt about it. 2016 election night was crazy. Yeah, 2016, man. I mean, we can say it's nostalgia. And look, in 2028, we're probably going to have nostalgia. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to have nostalgia about 2020. That was a shit show. Can't imagine who she would pick. AG, Attorney General. Liz Cheney. Dude, she's campaigning with Liz Cheney right now. For multiple days, too. And it's just all so, like, nobody even shows up to these events. It's so pathetic. More desperate, Project 2025 or January 6th? Well, I mean, January 6th is an OG. Let's not disrespect January 6th. But yeah, I mean, Project 2025 but I think Project 2025 is now like, I mean, I haven't heard many liberals talking about it, so I don't know. I don't know if it's kind of run its course or what. Maybe they're still talking about it and I just haven't seen, but it feels like they've kind of shut up about Project 2025. And the January 6th stuff, even that, it's like they're not even talking, the main ones aren't even talking about that. They're talking about Trump being mentally, too old. That's the new thing they're doing that I've seen. Does Kamala have twice the campaign funds that Trump does? Well, the campaign, they have, I think, 3 times more than Trump. But obviously, when you've got someone like Elon, and that's a little bit different. But even the people outside of the campaign, like we saw with the Zuck Bucks, they're going to be more liberal. Liberals are going to have more money. And those are the same people that say they hate billionaires, they hate money in politics, and they have all the money. They're complete hypocrites. She had over $1 billion. Well, they spent on ads or something. I don't know if it was ads alone or what. They spent $250 million in September. That was the number. Does Kamala even do rallies? Most of it's just like these weird sit-down things, it feels like, because she was doing a sit-down thing with Liz Cheney. You know it's bad for them when they're going after Trump's age. Yeah, it feels like a last gasp attempt. Because it's nonsensical after the 4 years. How are you going to gaslight us on any type of aging after what we just witnessed with Biden? It wasn't even the fact that Biden got in at his advanced age. It was that they lied for years. We would assume Vance Walls would be a funny ticket. Well, I mean, any Republican plus Democrat would be, I guess, a funny ticket, but that doesn't make any sense. They're obviously, polar opposites. I mean, it'd be funny, but it'd just be awkward. They would have Walls be like it's like Walls is the nice cop. Why does Walls tweak out every time on stage? Remember the introduction to Gretchen Whitmer? He was like, that's what he did. And then you got the song coming on. Not the song. His song starts playing. His theme song. I was born in a small town. I was born in a small... Do you think the left is toxic? Well, listen, it's politics, but both parties are toxic. That's just the reality. But no. Now you can't say that. The left, oh my God, they'll have a hissy fit if you say it's both sides. It's only the right. Only the right are bad. That's because that's a new thing that's going around now. Do Republicans genuinely do well? Well, Trump has not done well in early voting because of the way he's approached early voting. Republicans in prior cycles did decent, but with Trump, they don't tend to do well. But they're going to do better this cycle than they did in 2020 or probably 2016. I think the real comparison is 2016 versus 2024 early voting. That's what I would compare. But now they're like comparing 2022 to 2024, 2020 to 2024. Are you comparing midterms? Odds Jill Stein tells her voters to vote for Trump. I'm thinking not very high. I think there's 0% of that. But I haven't even heard Jill Stein say anything about Trump. She's been mainly clashing with liberals because liberals tried to keep her off the ballot in some of these states, and that's why she was angry. If Kari Lake runs in 2028, she has your vote. Runs as a in the Republican primaries you're talking about. I don't think Kari Lake would go very far. Did you see Kamala's ad targeting? Yeah, I reacted to it. You're talking about the one with like the actors and stuff. Just horrible. It doesn't even make sense. They're basically saying, you're so bad, so vote for us. I'm serious. They're like, men, it's your fault, so vote for us. Ripple gave Kamala 10 million XRP is terrible. It's one of the worst. It's one of the worst altcoins there has been. I mean, it's an OG, but it's shit. It doesn't move. Solar energy stocks could be trading with Kamala win odds. That's interesting. Solar energy. Well, do they plan on building a lot of solar panel farms with Harris? Or is it part of her maybe it's part of her incentive package with the clean energy? I mean, it does make sense with if a liberal gets in, there's a higher % chance they would use solar energy more in the United States and invest into it. Is Mark Kelly a better VP pick for Kamala? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot though. It wouldn't just be Mark Kelly. It'd be, but listen, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Mark Kelly's never been, Republicans would go after him as well, just like they went after Walls. But Walls is so impossible. It's so bad. It's just, it's hard to see. XRP is not something you want to be buying. Let's just say that. Please assure your wife that Trump is legit doing good. What do you mean, doing good in the polls? Or, I mean, Trump is doing well in the polls right now. Look at this. These are all the betting markets. You look at any of the, listen, this is what you can go to. You can go to the betting odds of every market. This is what Mark Cuban doesn't want you to see. Remember, Mark Cuban's like, oh, it's only poly market. Look at this, 59, 57, 61, 59, 60, 60, 59, 57. And poly market's at 59. There's some at 60 and 61. And this is a clear favorite right here. In all of the markets combined. At least, or whatever the markets they have here. No solar or wind in Ohio. Yeah, they shouldn't be doing. They should not be doing solar in Ohio. That's for sure. There's not even close to enough sun hours to where it's worth it. If you're doing solar, it needs to be in Arizona. Solana. I mean, I'm not. Solana, the coin itself, I don't have, but I certainly use the chain. You think Oregon's going to be close? Maybe like 9 points or 10 points. What is HK78? That's interesting there. As a Russian who left Russia to a random part of the world, the Biden administration still forced all banks around the world to ban me. They also closed my crypto exchange accounts. Liberals are your arch enemies. Well, they've been closing a lot of, in the United States, they've been shutting down a lot of very reputable centralized exchanges, and it's real bad, and it's annoying. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have predicted on here. They used to have predicted. They don't have that anymore, from what I've seen. I think they had it in 2020. Like, look at 2020. Yeah, Biden was at around 63. I mean, Trump is almost at Biden odds at this point. I think Trump definitely has a chance to win the popular vote, absolutely, from the polls that we've seen. Mike Evans might be out for the season with a hamstring injury. Here come the bots. Well, we've had a nice reprieve from some of these bots. the tono is worth about $10. Well, thank you for the calculation. Trump has a 100K vote lead in Florida. Yeah, I mean it's early. I guess you want to be in the lead, but I'm sure they're going to come back. I mean, the White House is going to be completely different. Yeah, Trump talked about him going in the first time versus the decisions he's going to make going in the second time. It will be completely different. And it's obvious it's going to be different. I mean, Trump had no experience going in the first time. What state am I in? Ohio. I'm in Ohio. Electoral votes is all that matters. That's true. The popular vote is just kind of it's kind of like the cigar you smoke after the win. You know, you get the popular vote. It's better. Are there situations where I should buy a Tesla and I'm 100% against EVs in general? Well, it depends. It just depends on whether or not you like the feel of the car. That's really what it. But also, dude, the thing is with Teslas and stuff, and I was looking at them. I don't know. The charging is kind of, I guess if you have if you got it hooked up at your house, it's beautiful. But you need a charging port at your house with any EV. Because you have going around and finding them, and they're like set up in these weird places, and you have to sit there for like an hour and wait for it to charge. It's not like getting gas. But it's easier if you have one at, I'm sure they've got them for like, I wonder how much those are. Like the charging ports when they're at your house, like $500 maybe. My point is that the deep state is so deep, even Americans underestimate how much damage Democrats bring to everyone around the world. Well, yes, you make a very good point. I appreciate it, man. How do we make sure fraud doesn't occur in swing states this year? Well, it's going to be a lot different. And this is something that maybe I haven't talked about. But with Elon Musk taking control of X, it's going to be, a lot of it's going to get exposed easy if it happens. Because now you've already done half the battle. Because remember, they were suppressing everything Trump was saying in 2020. But there's also a lot more poll watchers. I know Trump's hired a bunch of people. Look, you're going to get reports of all this different type of stuff. It's important to not freak out and just we've got to wait for things to come out. I should have a rally. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll have a rally. I'll do the rally at Bristol. I'll be the one to do it. If Trump won't do it, I'll do it. No. We might have a problem with attendance. Charging ports, 250 to 500 to 800. Yeah, but that's worth it. Because then you don't need to worry about gas, so you don't need to worry. That's nice, man. If I get in, you got to get a charging port. It's a must. Because I know people that don't have the charging port. It's like, dude, what's the point of the car then? You got to go around looking. You got to go look on your phone. Tesla has them on the tablet in the middle. You got to find charging ports, and they're all like, there's a charging port right next to a hospital. It's like just randomly set up. It's just weird. Have you been to a Trump rally? No, I wanted to go to, but dude, now they're like impossible to go to. Like they really are impossible. You have to go at like 6 a.m. But I mean, it depends. I guess it depends which one you go to. But with me at this point, it doesn't make any sense because I live in Ohio. So it's like, I mean, in 2016, I could have went, yes, because he had rallies in Ohio. Obviously 2020, it was kind of bullshit with COVID and everything. But obviously Ohio's not a swing state. I would have to go to Pennsylvania. But even the Pennsylvania rallies, man, it's brutal. I mean, it is hard because it's like the lines start at like 5 a.m. It's bad. And it's always a first come, first serve. There's no reserving tickets. He isn't having any rallies here. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but he's not going to have any rallies in Ohio either. And he shouldn't. Am I seeing the Trump movie? I haven't even heard of it. What is the Trump movie? Maybe I've seen it. I don't know. I mean, I've seen advertisements for like a movie about Trump on X. If the U.S. were depolarized and the parties could win any state, like any other country, without swing states and solid states, who would it benefit? Well, it's hard to really say that because, I mean, that's almost like warping your mind. Like, what do you mean? There's a reason states are Republican and liberal, you know? It's not that they vote that way just because they're robots. It's just because the people that make up those states are either more conservative or liberal. You mean if, like, we moved everyone around and every state became independent? I mean, it'd be interesting. But the reason a lot of states are conservative or Democrat is just because a lot of the people in the state are that. It's not that they're just voting that because everyone else is. I mean, maybe that's a little of it, but it's... $191K. Yeah, should I do a 200K live stream? That's the question. Should I do a 200K live? What are you doing for your election night stream? Definitely it's going to be a multi-view. I'm going to have a lot of screens up. One of them is definitely going to be betting, whether it's Polymarket or whatever, one of the live updates, because that's going to be the key thing to look at. Because when we get like, oh, Trump's up by X amount in this, it's very hard to understand that because is it early voting? Is it day of voting and they haven't counted the early vote? So one of them's going to be like betting. One of them's going to be, I haven't decided yet because it's like, I don't think I can stream CNN. You can stream CNN for like a debate because that's fair use because it's for a political decision. But I don't think you can do it for the election, unfortunately. So it'll probably be Twitter. It'll probably be the New York Times election map or some election map, the one that I think looks the best. Something like that. Do you still think Trump should do a rally at Daytona? Well, I never said Daytona. I said Bristol. Daytona doesn't work because it's not enclosed. But yeah, he should do one at Bristol, but it's too late at this point. But if he did one, it would be the biggest rally. It's the patriotism is amazing. You're in California, they rejected your vote because signature didn't match. I had to resubmit the signature and I'm still waiting for verification. Must be vigilant. Don't be lazy. No, I agree. That's crazy, man. Popular vote will matter this time. Well, you know, the other thing is popular vote matters in terms of in terms of the House races, because if Trump wins the popular vote, down ballot, that's going to really help because it means the House races are very likely going to Republicans. You'll be streaming Megyn Kelly, really? If Kamala wins, it'll be a war escalation. The next time, I might not be able to escape another wave of mobilization, given visa bans and bank closures. Well, that's tough, man. I mean, obviously, there's a higher chance. This is what I always say about the World War III thing, because I do think there is a lot of The Apprentice B first hour is very good. Agent K, I appreciate it. What I always say is there's a higher chance of a war of what's going on right now in Russia and Ukraine escalating with Harrison than Trump. There's a much higher chance of a higher escalation, which would then lead into World War III. And you can't even deny that. You have Harrison and Biden in right now. There's no talk of peace. And by the way, I finally got their actual viewpoint on this because they never even talk about it. But they're like, well, if we get a peace deal, then, you know, that's not good enough because then Putin is just going to go back and invade Ukraine in 2 years. Yes, but you could say that about any peace deal. Do they not understand that? So their whole thing is like, well, we could do a peace deal, but then Putin's just going to invade 2 years from now anyways. Well, then what is the solution here? Because Putin's not going to leave with nothing. There has to be a compromise. And look, I don't know what Putin wants. That's the big problem because it's like, I think it's going to be hard for Trump to do a peace deal with Putin. It is. The dono was worth $5. Yeah, I kind of figured because the other one was worth $10 and it was like 78K. They're saying Russia won't agree. No, I agree with you. I don't see why would Russia agree? They've lost so much already. So what does the peace deal exactly look like? Listen, I hope it happens. Yeah, I know. They see it, Jay, they see it as appeasement, basically. They see it as appeasement. But there is no end. There's no end to it. That's the problem. Putin is getting old. Well, I mean, I don't think he's that old. I mean, look at our leaders. Putin didn't want NATO right on his border. Well, no, I understand that, and Ukraine definitely cannot join NATO. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, I don't know about Bitcoin and Ethereum, man. You got to have a lot of money to make because both of those market caps are very high. But I do think BTC, you know, you're looking at a 2 or a 3x in the next year. Ethereum a little bit more. I'm hoping Ethereum does very well. I'm in a lot of Ethereum memes. I mean, people hate Ethereum because of the gas fees, but I still use Ethereum. Is still, it's hated because it's just used the most, and it does have some brutal gas fees. I'll say that. I mean, what will Trump's first day be like? It'll be like any other. I mean, oh no, he'll be a dictator. Yeah, he's going to mobilize troops into China, into Canada, and we're going to annex Quebec. That's what liberals think. No, it'll be a bunch of executive orders. Peace deal would be cutting off Zelensky and him knowing Russia would totally win the war without our money. Putin settles for some land. I mean, that would be great if he's... I mean, what do you mean? The two regions he already has, you're saying? Or would he want more in a peace deal? America should annex Alberta. Ontario. Can Trump win New York? It's not possible this cycle, unfortunately. In the name of liberty. It's not about gains, it's about financial survival. Well said. No, I agree. I like crypto, man. I do. And Bitcoin, it is digital gold. It is. It definitely ebbs and flows, but it's inevitable. It'll eventually, if you hold it long enough, it'll go up. If you hold it long enough. That's $1.93. Come on, man. Putin is 71. That's younger than Trump. Younger than Trump and Biden. I mean, they say Harris is like the spring chicken. What did she just turn 60? And Trump wished her a happy birthday. Very, very nice. Poly market keeps going up. Yeah, they're having a panic attack. They're freaking out. Wait, hold on. 63.9. Oh, it went up 0.4. Well, that'll be the elect. Okay, so now it is 15 days. Yeah, tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks until the election. Remember when libs were telling us that Ukraine would surrender 4 days after the invasion? Well, I think that's the obvious thought when you've got a mismatch like that between those two countries, to be fair. But they said, yeah, they would take Kiev within a week. I mean, that wasn't even just libs. That was just general people saying that Ukraine would have to surrender very early on. Do you consider 10 Bitcoin a lot? I mean, what? God, dude. Bitcoin right now, I don't know, man. The thing is, it's like 60K or something. 10 Bitcoin, I mean, what is 10 Bitcoin? Like 400, 500K then? I mean, it's a decent amount of money. Dude, you know, it's so annoying what happened to me with this coin. I'm not gonna rehash it, but Brian DM, I'm a little worried about early voting in Michigan. The Dems are up 18% right now. When Biden won the state in 2020, Republicans won the early vote by 2 points. Republicans won the early vote, and well, that could be a number of things. Right now, there's probably a very small... I didn't even know Michigan was reporting early voting numbers, so that's interesting. There could be a number of things. Maybe this is a situation where Michigan is a lot of liberals are doing the early vote day one, and then Republicans will do it later, and then they'll flip it. That surprises me that Republicans won early voting in Michigan in 2020. That's really shocking to me if that is true. Because the early voting was very Democratic heavy. But again, that's a situation where it's like, and this is what I also say about like Florida, where Republicans are trouncing Democrats right now. It's going to change because there's such a small amount of votes, and when more get added, it's going to really affect the overall numbers. I highly doubt that's accurate data. It just doesn't make any sense. How is Pennsylvania, their early vote situation is like way liberal, but Michigan is different? Have you checked out NBC early voting? Yeah, I have, man. Worried about Pennsylvania firewall. Well, their firewall was 1.4 million in 2020, remember? Now it's 500K. That seems bad to me. But they're making up numbers about their firewall. They don't tell party affiliation in Michigan. Early prediction in 2028. I guess Vance against Shapiro. I don't know. You detest Putin and his party, Trump for liberty, but Putin for goddamn communism. Yeah. You know, in the United States, we have a weird dynamic where liberals hate Russia, Republicans don't hate Russia, but Republicans hate China, but liberals don't hate China. And they're our two biggest adversaries. It's interesting. It's under 300K. Their firewall is under 300K. In Pennsylvania. The early voting gets more accurate in the last week. Yeah, I know. That's why it's hard. I mean, snapshot day of. Do you think Trump could even finish his term? Yeah, I mean, he could finish his term. He's in much better shape, way better shape than Biden was heading into his first term. The firewall has got to be amazing. I think the firewall got hacked. I don't know. 294K. Boy, that firewall is flimsy right now. Someone, there's a power outage, I think. Way too many Democrat. I really haven't seen many Democrat shields. Maybe, I mean, I'm not seeing every message, though. Remember the crypto dude who said he got scammed and he was living in a library? Yes, I do remember that. That was a troll, man. That had to have been a troll. There is no firewall. Yeah, they just made up that narrative, I know. I'm blessed to have Trump as a choice. You're jealous of me. Okay. These are... Have you seen how much weight Trump has lost? Yeah, I mean, I've seen, dude, he's like 250. I mean, he's like 210 now, with muscle. He's 6. People are saying he shrunk to 6'1". He's 6'1.5". Which phrase do you dislike more, the 13 keys or firewall? Firewall is definitely gaining, but there's no way. You can't beat the OG. You can't beat the 13 keys, man. You can't beat it. Thoughts on Roger Stone? Remember Roger Stone? I've seen Roger Stone on Alex Jones's program a few times. Marcus, what's up, man? When did I get mods? Oh, like whenever, really, like over a year and a half ago. I don't know. you 6'2", 234. Dude, you're probably right. You're predicting the exact numbers. You're trying. I can understand it. Piers Morgan versus Alex Jones. Amazing. Amazing. That was a great confrontation. Make sure you shout out Discord. Yeah, guys, you can join my Discord. Link is in the community tab. You, my friend, have the best stream in the name of liberty. Thank you. I mean, your name is in the name of liberty. I appreciate it. Liberals in. Oh my God, there's a 538 subreddit. Lord, oh my God, the liberal infestation. It's a political subreddit, but on top of that, that's not the bad part. On top of that, it's 538. So we already know it's gonna be liberal, but then it's like, I gotta see what that comment says. Let me see this. They're coping hard when their model flipped. Well, dude, you know, because 538's been crazy liberal, and they've had Kamala up this entire time. They were probably like, oh, these are Republican polls. 538 doesn't have any of these crap Republican polls that are manipulating everyone. And then it flips. They are talking, all they talk about is the 13 keys in polls. Yeah, like the Marist. Do they praise Marist? You gotta tell me, do they like Marist? Oh, man. They gotta love Marist, man. Marist, yes, please. We need a +10 Dem sample. It's realistic. It's real. Oh, man. A 538 subreddit, the final depth. 530. Imagine there was an R Bloomberg, and it's just the Bloomberg polls, and then we got him now. Harris is up by 7. The Bloomberg polls. Well, the thing is, Bloomberg is a pollster. 538 is a prediction model. There is a difference. 538, Marist, Bloomberg. Oh, God. wait. Bloomberg has been bad, man. Bloomberg. Do you worry that we are in a conservative echo chamber? Well, that's what these things devolve into, isn't it? Conservative echo chambers, liberal echo chambers. Even people that try and act like they're in the middle, it's always one or the other, let's be honest. And if it's not, it's a very small amount of people. Yeah, they'll downvote you, like, you'll get crushed on there if you say anything. Yeah, morning compost, that's another good one. You live in New Mexico, it's not going red. No, I mean, I think it could be closer, though, than expected. Cook Political has been terrible. You're right. Cook Political is another one. They're starting to move their predictions. Well, they also have polls too. They have their own prediction model and polls. Why do liberals hate the USA chant? Well, it's a not the Cook Political subreddit, come on. It's a it's like patriotism. They hate patriotism. They think patriotism is like a form of fascism. I'm being serious. That's it. I'm dead serious. They think patriotism is next to fascism. They think anytime you show the American flag, they think we should be ashamed of our history, ashamed of our founding fathers, ashamed of the American flag, ashamed of everything the country's created. It's all a coping session, and it's all a white guilt trip. And now they're like trying to get white men to vote for them, and they're saying you're so bad, so vote for us. That's their pitch. You're so horrible, vote for us. They won't even try and actually do it. They can't bring themselves to try and actually pitch. What are the symptoms of Trump derangement syndrome? I'm starting to think it's grandma glasses, and you got with Mark Cuban and Maddow. It might be we saw Colbert had glasses on. He ripped them off. It might be some glasses. That might be a symptom. I don't know. Why did Cuban put those glasses on? He's trying to seem sophisticated or like non-threatening. I don't know. Take your glasses off, Mark. Thoughts on Texas flipping blue? Guys, don't worry. Texas is not flipping blue. We have a firewall. Okay, we have a Republican firewall in Texas of 1.6 million votes, so it's impossible. The firewall will hold. Don't worry. Jill Stein is going to wear the dark MAGA hat. I could see it. I mean, dark Jill Stein. She's going to win Trump, Michigan. No, I think Trump would win it anyways. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Quinn Ewers did look really bad in that game, man. They benched him, or he might have got injured. I don't know. You should make going over the craziest moments from the cycle. Yeah, like the assassination attempts, the Biden. Remember that one live stream I did, and the title was "Is Biden Dead?" ? Because there was that false rumor going around. I mean, that's like a Laura Loomer special. Matt Walsh actually is weird. Yeah, I do get some weird. RB, I know you're a troll, but I agree with you on that. I do. I get some weird vibes with him. I do. I agree with that. Will you hit 200K? I'll have to do a live stream when I hit 200K. Will I hit 200K by the election? Well, if the election is in 15 days, it's going to be right on, maybe right before the election. What do you think will end up being a more funny victory? It's 2016, because 2024 Trump's the favorite. You know, I mean, I guess you could compare different things, but I think it has to be 2016 because it was such an underdog role for Trump. Does Indiana have a chance to go undefeated? I don't think so, man. There's no way they're beating Ohio State in Columbus. Come on. I do think there is a stronger conservative movement, at least recently in Canada. Like, it seems like there's, you had a lot of stuff happen with Trudeau, and he seems to be very unpopular. The Yo stream has lost media. You want to know what happened to that? It was Saturday Night Live. Why don't you go ask Saturday Night Live? They removed it. Whoa, that's a lot of gold. That's a lot of crowns, man. You got to spam those crowns like that. Come on. After COVID and the war, which war you're talking about? The Russia-Ukraine war? You became a capitalist and radicalized. Hans Hermann Hope and other far-right reactionaries. Yeah, man, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. You think there's another assassination attempt? It's impossible for me to predict that. But they got to be getting pretty desperate with 2 weeks left. With 15 days left, they got to be getting pretty desperate. Which state, putting aside Nevada, are you seeing any issues for us with? The biggest state, if I put aside Nevada in terms of Republican chances, I think it still has to be Michigan. I know there's been positive polls out of Michigan, but I would say Nevada is probably the hardest for Trump to win. But it's only it's only the 6 electoral votes, so you'll deal with it. And then I'd say Michigan is probably the second hardest. But you're really nitpicking there. Liberals are saying North Carolina is swinging, but it's not reflective. Because there have been, I think, a few positive North Carolina polls for Harris. I haven't checked North Carolina necessarily recently. Because there was like that one Atlas Intel. That was it. Atlas Intel Harris +2. Someone said Harris might stage an assassination attempt. Imagine that. Well, if something happens, there's obviously going to be a ton of people that look into that if something happened. There's a lot. Dude, with the internet now, people are on it like that. So it'll be interesting whenever there's a major event that happens with the internet, it's how would you react if Kamala wins? Well, I mean, listen, if she wins, it's going to be one of those it's going to be like probably not on election night because you know how they're going to drag it out. They're going to wait for all the early voting, and then it'll be like 2 days later. It'll just be miserable, honestly, if that happened. But I just don't see the same thing happening. If she won on election night, that would be very shocking. If she won on election night, I would have to say, you don't want to fake a reaction or fake a freak out. Obviously, you could go viral and stuff, but I don't know. Isn't there a Kamala town hall? You know what? They were advertising for it, but it's Wednesday night. It's at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night, but it might have gotten filmed today, I believe, if I have that correct. Do you think DeSantis will run in 2028? A lot of this depends on what happens with Trump. If Trump wins, it's going to be very hard for DeSantis to run in a primary against J.D. Vance. But the question is, a lot of people are saying DeSantis should be a VP. I don't know if DeSantis wants to be a VP or not. DeSantis is trying to rebuild his image after the whole primary charade, and I think he's doing a decent job of it. I mean, listen, DeSantis turned Florida. You know, that definitely counts for something. It's very impressive. You will eat dog shit. Oh, dude, there was a dude that promised he would eat dog shit if Florida State lost, and then he had fake dog shit, and then people thought it was real. That's what I was looking at today. and people were like, what are you doing? All right, man, we know with the crown, it's enough with the crown. We understand. We got it with the crown. Vance Rubio 2028. I mean, Rubio technically was on he was like Trump's final 3 for VP. I mean, but you have to, but also Burgum was remember Burgum? I was like, there's no way Burgum can be the VP, but that would have been not a good pick. Vance was a much better pick than Burgum. I said Burgum was a dud or something. I forgot what I said, but thoughts on Mark Robinson? Well, hopefully that story calms down a little bit and maybe he'll have a chance, but it's unlikely. DeSantis kind of has problems, you know, relating to voters and everything like that. Check out Mrs. Institute, an Austrian School of Economics if you like crypto, not just for gains, mostly for liberty, philosophers. Most of the philosophers. All right, man, I'll take a look at that, man. Ryan Day needs to be fired. That's not going to happen, man. Come on. If he loses to Michigan, he'll get fired. I'll agree with you there. But other than that, I mean, they recruit too well right now to fire him. Vivek would have been a better pick, but he does come across a bit too aggressive. Yeah, you're right. He does come across aggressive. Vance, Byron Donalds. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I know Donalds has been going on. Like, I saw Donalds on CNN. He was pretty impressive. The Breakfast Club, things like that. DeSantis is friendly with the establishment. Well, that was his big problem against MAGA. He was more seen as the establishment, way more establishment than Trump, and that's not where the Republican Party wants to be right now. So you're going up against Trump, the ultimate outsider. I mean, he was a total outsider in 2015. You think Vivek is too far right now? Yeah, he does have some pretty right-wing policies, I guess, and ideas. He's got like more radical, bigger ideas for the U.S. government. Vivek should run for Senate. I think the rumor is he's running for governor in Ohio, not Senate, though. George Stephanopoulos. I never seen someone so nasty like George Stephanopoulos was to Byron Donalds that Sunday morning. You remember that? That was disgusting. That was really bad. Stephanopoulos was real bad. I mean, he was pissed off. Remember Stephanopoulos? He had an interview with Biden. He had to admit Biden was basically a corpse. Glenn Youngkin would be good in 2028. He's most like Trump. No, he's not. Glenn Youngkin's not like Trump. I think Glenn Youngkin as a VP could be okay. I don't think he would be. Republicans would not choose him. At this point where the Republican Party is, they would not choose Youngkin as the nominee, I don't believe. Vivek isn't that old. He's still got time to build himself. Yeah, that's why people are saying his next step is something with Ohio, governor or senator. Do you think Virginia will flip in 2028? Well, let's see what the final margin is. I mean, you know, it's hard to say how these states swing because, you know, you could get a 3-point margin, but then in 2028, it could be back to being more liberal. I mean, look at what 2016 to 2020, it was close in 2016, and then Trump lost by 10 points in 2020. So it just depends. It's hard to predict something like that from this far off. The way everything swings, you know, how is Trump's administration? Is Vance the pick? It is a lot. I mean, I think with Youngkin, the Youngkin factor, it is more right wing, obviously, than it was in 2020. It's a more right wing environment. He's too milquetoast. Yeah, I know. That's basically what I'm saying. Well, Vance would be the pick because he's already basically been endorsed by Trump. Whoever Trump endorses, if Trump wins in 2024, whoever he endorses is very likely going to win in 2028. Trump still has control over the party. The majority, that is. I mean, we saw what happened in the primaries. It was the establishment and all their funding against Trump, and they got crushed. Because the establishment was with DeSantis, and then they switched to Haley, and it didn't matter. And Haley might try and run again in 2028, but it won't matter. If Trump endorses Vance, if Trump wins in 2024, Vance is extremely likely to win. Vivek gave a lecture at CATO about reducing administrative states, the American future. Yeah, Vivek has talked about trimming the fat off the American government, basically, and that's what Musk has talked about doing. It's the same thing he did. And I saw even Dave Ramsey talking about it with Carlson, but eliminating a lot of the useless jobs, basically. And also major reform, like the Department of Education. Thanks for being an absolute legend consistently and great content. Also go UCF. Yeah, I mean, UCF, who did they almost beat? They almost beat someone this past week. Maybe it was Iowa State. I appreciate that, man. Majority of people like to blame the current problems on the current president. Absolutely. That's just the reality of it. I think it depends on how good of a VP Vance would be. Well, I mean, to be fair, the VP doesn't do a lot. I think Vance would be fine because he's a very good speaker, and when he goes out in public and talks, as long as he handles himself well, he's not going to be seen as a terrible... I mean, it's not like a Kamala situation where she was seen as kind of a clown. With Vance, the VP, if the administration does well, he'll be seen as a very good VP. You know, the VP is... There's not a ton of impact there. But Vance is definitely going to be a good talker when it comes to presenting what Trump wants to do with his policies if Trump wins. DeSantis could beat JD in a primary. Well, not if Trump endorses Vance. I don't think he can. I mean, if DeSantis is also, I mean, you just saw it. We saw it with people here that they view, a lot of these Republican voters view DeSantis still as more establishment. I mean, I guess Vance would, but if Trump endorses Vance, it's gonna. Thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate it. If Trump endorses Vance, I think it's gonna be very hard for anyone to beat Vance. Cuban and the Democrats, yes, in the Democratic primary, Cuban wouldn't surprise me at all. Cuban, you'll get your Whitmers, you'll get your Newsoms, you'll get Josh Shapiro, you'll get the usual suspects there. Probably some of the same ones that ran in 2020 in the Democratic primaries. Do you know anyone in Ohio that is ticket splitting? I mean, I don't know a lot in general. Like, I don't know a lot of people on that level to where I'll ask, are you ticket splitting with Trump and Brown? I mean, there'll be people that do it, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Youngkin 2028, I don't think it's going to happen for Youngkin in 2028, honestly, man. Will we know the winner? I think we'll know the winner on definitely by Wednesday morning, but probably at like yeah, you're talking about like Wednesday, like 1 a.m. Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say Tuesday night, but technically, especially if you're in Eastern, it's gonna be like Wednesday at like 1 or 2 a.m. Mark Cuban with the he's transitioning to Rachel Maddow with the glasses. It's a bad look for Mark. But even Cuban's now coming out and saying that, I mean, he said he doesn't like the unrealized gains tax, and obviously it's terrible. And They never should have sent that out. I don't know who sent that out of the Harris campaign talking about an unrealized gains tax. Horrible, 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 horrible. And it's not about, oh, it only affecting billionaires. It's the ripple down effect. And that's what Cuban understands. It affects the billionaires, but yes, they control, and then it's going to have a ripple down effect. What they decide controls the rest of the market, the whales. And that's what Cuban knows, and that's why even Cuban said this unrealized gains is terrible. And he just recently said that. Just voted on the first day down here, Seminole County, Florida. Republicans won the first IPEV in Florida by 25% with 25 Republican counties. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see. But I want to caution people with the early voting, and the numbers are going to change. We're going to get the most accurate early voting numbers days before the election, you know? I mean, I think in terms of enthusiasm, it's good for Trump to be up and performing potentially better than he did. I mean, obviously, he's going to perform better than he did in 2020 just because of the way things are. But even 2016, you would want to see him perform better than. Make French fries great again. Absolutely. I love that was a great thing that Trump did, Ben. Absolutely amazing. Unrealized gains taxes. So, well, listen, to me, it's not even about the unrealized are crazy bad, but they're not going to do that. But they will do the capital gains tax at 45%. Remember that. If you're trying to cash out $1 million in crypto, you're only getting 550K, and people are like, oh, you're already rich. No, that's with inflation, it's not that much. It's not. It's really not. You can't give me a 45%. I thought it was 33% capital gains tax. Short term, I'm talking. Short term capital gains tax was 33%, but now it's going to be 45, I think, with Harris if she comes in. 2028 Buttigieg, dude. I don't think they would go with Buttigieg. I really don't. The only thing I could see them doing with Buttigieg is maybe VP, and it would be an understandable VP pick for them with how dumb Walz is. They would want someone like annoying little nerd like Buttigieg to be the VP. But Buttigieg is much more of a VP. I don't think libs would choose him as the nominee. He just doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the characteristics of a presidential candidate that would win Republicans or independents in the Rust Belt. I mean, Shapiro would be a way better choice if they're going to go with a white dude. You think the stock market will make booms? I think the stock market's going to go up either way, man. I mean, that's just what happens. But it'll probably perform a little bit better with Trump, especially at the start. When Trump takes office, it's a lot more bullish news for the stock market, for crypto especially. But like I tell people with the stock market and crypto, it's going to go up no matter what. I mean, with Harris or Trump. But I mean, Harris is going to do a lot of bad things with crypto. They are anti-crypto, the Democrats. The Trump campaign is much more intellectual. Elon, Vance, Vivek, the super team. Well, they are a dream team. I agree with you there. In 2016, his team was very weak. His team is totally different, man. You're right. He even said that. And plus, you've got like people like Tulsi and RFK who were Democrats. It's remarkable. This is the other thing. It's like, if Trump was really this Hitler, how the hell does he get Democrats to cross over? Like, I mean, you could, well, they argue RFK is not a Democrat, but like Tulsi, if he's really a Hitler, I mean, it's fear mongering. There's no way these people would cross over like this. I mean, he's got people that were left. They're now right. They're now with Trump. New Trafalgar poll for Michigan. What is it? So yeah, I think my logo looks pretty good, man. Honestly, I agree. I like my logo a lot. But I when it comes to, I think I gotta leave my profile pic as the same. I can't really change it right now, but. Ultimately, some are saying that Biden at the end, cognitive issues and all, would have been the stronger nominee than Harris. Well, they're saying that because the writing is on the wall with these poll numbers and how bad they are. And obviously Biden had a lot better poll numbers than this. Look, I don't think so. I mean, could there have been some damage control that they could have done to where Biden, they definitely would have wanted another debate with Trump. I wonder if Trump would have actually debated Biden again if they would have stuck with him and really went full throttle with Biden being the guy. And he would have an incumbent advantage. But the thing is, incumbent advantages, they don't mean a ton anymore. Thoughts on Miami Hurricanes? I mean, yeah, they're undefeated, but I think I like Clemson better than Miami. You have to add red. I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily a color to my logo. Like, I know it's black and white on the shirt, but I don't know if there's necessarily a color to it. It might be a... Trump is +2 in the Trafalgar. You definitely would have done a Biden one. Yeah, but that's honestly not smart. I wouldn't give them any more. I wouldn't give Biden a redemption. Fuck that. How about your Indiana Hoosiers? Indiana looks good, man. They do. It's crazy. Indiana might be undefeated. They might be 10-0 when they face Ohio State. I mean, they're going to be favorites in every game until they face Ohio State. Imagine if that Indiana-Ohio State game was in Indiana. How far will Army go? I mean, we'll see if Army beats Notre Dame. They got to beat Notre Dame if they want to make the playoff as the Group of 5 team. Trafalgar, Trump +1.8 in Michigan, +0.2 in Wisconsin. Yeah, libs will like that Wisconsin result with Trafalgar, unfortunately. But I mean, it's just one poll. Trump +5 in Wisconsin from YouGov. Are you kidding me? I don't know if that's a troll or not. If Vanderbilt beats Texas, they got to be top 10 at least. They got to be at least top 10. Pig State, or I've seen those videos, the Pig State videos, the Minecraft. I've seen that TIPP poll with Trump +1. Dude, they release those polls every day and they somehow get like an A+ rating. It's weird. Way too big. I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty big margin, honest. The swing states are always going to be close, but you need a life-sized, you need a plushie Toya. No, that's weird, actually. You need a plushie Toya me. Yeah, that'd be good. Too bad we didn't get the Vance Harris debate. Yeah, that would have been they would have had at least, it would have been one debate because they always do one VP debate. All of your colleagues are university educated leftists. You said Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. BLM are looters. Trump 2024. They don't invite you to lunch. Huh. Remember that Rittenhouse trial and how crazy that was? Tim Walz would order one from me. It's a complicated relationship with me and Tim Walz. Do you trust JD Vance? I like JD Vance a lot. I think JD Vance has won over the support of a lot of people. He had a -12 approval rating. I think it's about even now from the polls that I saw, or it's better than it was. Because they were able to remember they labeled JD Vance weird. He hates women. He hates single mothers, and it seems like all of that's gone now. Honestly, they're not really. Well, I mean, also they're zeroing in on Trump. but they're zeroing in on Trump on dumb shit like age and stuff like that as well. You think Chuck Schumer will get a sex change and try to be the first female president? You're right. Trump did say that as one of his jokes. I don't know. Trump was kind of nice to Chuck. Trump was like, I like Chuck. Dogecoin versus Shiba Inu. I wouldn't buy either of them, honestly. They're just massive market cap meme coins. I mean, I think they'll go up during the bull run, but I wouldn't buy either of them. Vance, Tulsi, yeah, I've heard of that potential ticket. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Tulsi does from 2024 to 2027. It'll be interesting, and I know Republicans want to see more from her and stuff like that. Do you think Cuban does anything in 2028? If the conditions are right, I think Cuban would run as a Democrat. He'd probably lose really early, but I'm seeing a lot of indicators that say Cuban wants to run really bad in 2028. A lot of this is just the billionaire that doesn't really have much to accomplish. He's got a TV show. He sees people like Elon and Trump be way more influential, and he's pissed off about it. He already said he wants to buy Fox News. He can't because he doesn't have the money, but he wants to be an influence like Elon. But Elon can't run for president, and he can, so he thinks it's a Trump card and what he wants to do. I mean, it's the same mold of Trump. It's, he says he hates Trump, but that's kind of what he wants. He wants, when you get that rich, you want to have more power. Nate Silver will lose his Florida bet. Wasn't it like 7.5 points, I think? If it is, then I think he probably will lose. Yeah, I think Trump will take Florida by at least 8, 9, 10. We are not going back makes 0 sense because Kamala. Yeah, I know. It's just none of their stuff makes any sense. It's all their slogans are just all crap, and it's just. This is not a winning campaign. The Harris Walls is not a winning campaign. Thoughts on the greater Idaho movement? I would love to see it happen, but it would make the states look really weird because Oregon would be it would be so small. See, look at this. Oregon would be like right here and down. It would be cut off even further than halfway if greater Idaho got that part of Oregon. I think it would gain Idaho an electoral vote and lose Oregon one. But you would still keep the liberal hub, obviously, of Portland on the coast. It would still be part of Oregon, but Oregon would get cut. And that's why people don't want it to happen, because it would redraw the border and it would be so extreme that it doesn't make a lot of sense. I do like the way the borders are. I mean, I want to redraw the border with Mexico, but that would be a whole big thing. Whatever happened to Brat? Well, technically it was a Brat summer. ADA or H-bar, neither. They're too high in market cap for me. Cardano. There's a coin. Cardano was a great coin 2018, 2019 if you bought it then. Or I guess 2020 it would have been. And then the 2021 bull run. It would still be bigger than Rhode Island. Yeah, I mean, Rhode Island's minuscule. But I'm talking about the way it layers. It would just look really weird. Rhode Island is surrounded by a bunch of smaller states, so it makes more sense there. Baja California, yeah. That would be sweet if we took that. How was he on The View? I mean, yeah, Trump was on The View. It's a Jeb Bush summer. It's a hot Jeb summer, yes. Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, 2028. Dude, I saw Chris Christie was angry at like a football coach. Chris Christie, he wants to go into. Apparently, he wants to be an NFL coach. Chris Christie. He's gonna be a head coach. He's gonna take over for Mike McCarthy. Will you break down in tears and punch a hole in the wall? Well, listen, I get 1 million views off of it, but no, I mean, come on, I'm not gonna do something like that. It's tempting to do something. I might decide to like do a troll though. We'll have to see if something happens. I don't know. That would be a very, very bad troll because that would mean that she won. What do you think of Texas getting more electoral votes by 2028? I don't think it's possible. Don't they only reward electoral votes after the census? If Trump wins, we'll own Greenland. I mean, I wish. I don't know, man. They're gonna want. Denmark's gonna want a lot of money for Greenland, like 500 million apparently. Yeah, Christie could be the Cowboys head coach. What if Chris Christie actually became the Cowboys head coach? I think that's probably gonna happen. Yeah. Montana is huge. Low key should all move there and make it. Yeah, dude, you know what? I was thinking South Dakota, but there really should be a city that gets developed with the new technology where you have tunnels and everything. You can make a major city if you build the tunnels first, and Musk is right on the tunnels because it mitigates the traffic problem. But if you build a huge city in like a conservative area and you just have, there's going to be no homeless because you're just building it. It's like a mini Dubai thing, I guess, but it would be like a Republican hub city in like South Dakota or Montana. I just don't know if Montana is too far north for it to be a hub city, but Montana is also mountain time zone. Well, because it's like split in the middle, I think. Montana, I think all of Montana is mountain, and then half of South Dakota is mountain, half is central. Or maybe it's all central. You'll buy the first DG logo T-shirt autographed for $100. Well, that's a good investment. Yeah, that's a good investment for you. We're gonna have to. Yeah, well, I could sign a shirt for you. I got a nice signature. I do. I got a good signature. I'm not gonna lie. It's a very clean signature. I've had it for like 7 years now, but I got to make sure it's perfected. You think Tester has conceded the race? Yeah, they cut his funding off. I don't know if they cut his funding off, but I would imagine there's not a lot of liberal funds going to Tester. It's probably all going to Sherrod Brown. Sherrod Brown and like the Rust Belt Senate seats. Will California ever go red again? They did elect Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, but it is a while ago, man. It's hard to see California. I mean, I think California is going to swing a little bit, but if you're talking about like plus 20 Dem, it's very hard to turn that state in a matter of even 2 decades because of the population. But I mean, we see New York go from plus 23 to plus 11 maybe, so I don't know. But it's hard, man. Just the population is so much. Ravens up by 17 over the Bucks. Wow. What makes you so confident in Trump's chances? Well, now we've got the golden Gallup Party ID to fall back on. That's a big part of it. Because we can talk about Atlas Intel, but I don't know if you know about the Gallup Party ID, but that's a major reason. And that has nothing to do with, oh, they're going to overestimate Trump. They're going to underestimate Trump. This year, there's no calculation. The Gallup Party ID has been within a single point of predicting the popular vote the last, I think, 6 election cycles. And now they've got Republicans plus 2, I think. I mean, that's basically it. Yeah, once they all leave, they're going to all leave Cali. Cali goes red. Texas goes blue. That's what happens. Jeff the fam, I appreciate it, man. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. Boy, that sounded like I was a robot there. But yeah, that's going to do it. I did actually 2 hours tonight. But listen, these live streams will probably be, They'll probably be a little bit, I don't know about longer, but like if there's an event going on, the problem is there hasn't been any events. I know there's the Kamala thing happening on Friday, so they'll be more entertaining. I mean, some people do think it's better if I interact with the chat and stuff, but most people in general, the general masses, they like when I react to stuff, so. Yeah, I do have a Reddit account. I've actually got like maybe 450 karma, I think. But I would lose. I mean, if I go on our politics, I'll lose all of that in a millisecond. But I don't use Reddit much in terms of like, I just use a few of the subreddits, the smaller ones. Nothing political.